Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Katam buddhassa miritindiwa viti patanti ti. Papajitina abinham pachawe kitabam. The days and the nights are relentlessly passing. How well am I spending my time? This is probably what you're wondering. My name is Naupasana, and this is the channel called Path to Peace, where I'm documenting my journey from home life to homelessness. I'm now an anagarika, as you might have seen from the video that I uploaded at the beginning of the year. So I had my New Year's Eve anagarika ceremony, and thank you to the wonderful Arash for the wrap that's on that video. It seems that a lot of people have seen it because people go, "Oh, you're that anagarika who had the wrap," and then they want to know all about Arash. So that's cool. So more bikini wraps, thanks Arash. So yes, it is now my 6-month nunniversary. It's the 1st of June 2017, and I have been anagarika pasana for 6 months now. Before that, my name was Michelle, and I guess my name still is Michelle. It's confusing. I get paperwork and I go, which one do I write? How legal is this? It also, it's been a really interesting process having a new name and this whole drastic shift of life and stuff like that. Nothing like investigating what is self. So beneficial and kind of scary. So, yeah, I might start now and go backwards, or I could go forwards. Let's have a think. I'm going to go forwards. So starting, in January, I went on a retreat with Ajahn Brahma about 2 weeks after my anagarika ordination, and also went to Dharmasara Nuns Monastery for 2 weeks, I think it was. I had an interesting time. The nuns there are just fantastic, just wonderful nuns. Just the most beautiful people, and I felt so blessed to just to be able to call these people my sisters now, and it really hit home that I have this whole new amazing Dharma family, and they couldn't be more wonderful people. I just keep meeting so many lovely people. It's really great. So that aspect of staying at Dharmasara is great. There's 12 nuns there, I think, including the anagarikas. So I think there's about 8 bhikkhunis, a couple of samonaries, and at the time I was staying there were 2 other anagarikas, and now there's a 3rd one there as well, who was a lay resident when I was staying there. And Dharmasara is an amazing place. It's just a really well-structured community, and the senior nun there, Ayya Hasapanya, just does a great job to kind of run the place in a very, very hands-off manner, and for the most part, people seem super happy there. I had terrible problems with my allergies there, though. I ended up sleeping a lot of the time as a result of the allergies, but sorry, I thought there was someone outside my kuti for a sec. But that was kind of my fault, because the first day I got there, I was like, yeah, sure, no worries, I'll clean the gutters, and jumped up on the roof of Ayya Hasapanya's kuti and was cleaning out the gutters and cleaning out other people's kuti gutters, and I was like, oh, this isn't a good idea for someone who has serious dust and pollen allergies. So yeah, I kind of paid for that a lot, and yeah, it was a huge adjustment those first 3 months of being an anagarika, and especially that first month. 2 weeks after my anagarika ceremony, jump on a plane, head to Western Australia on retreat, and then head to Dhammasara. It was it was quite confronting because I was faced with my own mind at full force, and this new life and all that. So the first a lot of aversion came up in my practice, and it was really confronting to deal with that. And not to say that I wasn't totally happy with being a nun. I think it's fantastic. I think it's just wonderful, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad to be doing this, and think it's totally the right decision, and totally inspired to keep going, and looking forward to wearing brown robes, of course. And when that happens, I've only just come to that point now. I was like, I think I need to be an anagarika a lot longer, for a long time. But the last month or two, it's been a real turnaround, and I'll get to that in a second, because that's important too. I'm sorry if I'm sounding a bit flat today. I've just got off of a plane, 8 hours commuting. I've just come back from Santee Forest Monastery. But seeing as it's my nunniversary, I thought it was appropriate that I make a video anyway, so here we are. Where was I? Aversion. My good friend aversion. That's pretty much the only way to deal with it, actually. My good friend aversion, I see you. How about we practice compassion? So we have a new teddy bear friend. Oh, he's not in here, he's in the shrine room, otherwise I'd introduce you. Following the Ajahn Brahm bear awareness method. If you don't know that, I guess you watch on the Jhana Grove retreats, and you'll find out what Ajahn Brahm's version of bear awareness is. This monastic life is as the very lovely Venerable Upeka said to me at Dhammasara. She goes, you can't escape your own mind. And I was like, yeah, I know. And you definitely can't. The distractions of music and TV and relationships and going out and doing all that are stripped right back, and it's pretty hard to avoid seeing your own mind, and it really comes at you, and it's taken a while to get to a place where I can I'm feeling a bit more solid in my practice, and where things are and stuff. I'm still definitely getting bashed around by the 8 worldly winds. It's a huge change, and to expect anything otherwise, it's hard to explain. I was trying to explain it to a girl during the week, and who was like, yeah, I've got to ordain, and this and that and the other, and totally hyperactively excited about it. And I was like, oh. Yeah, great. I think, it's a full-on process, and living as a layperson in a monastery is one thing, but when you shave your hair off and you put the robes on and you're in the monastery, and all of a sudden it's much more different than you expect. Ayasapana at Dhammasara was telling me when I went there that they had someone ordained as an anagarika who'd been staying with them for 2 years, and she lasted 2 weeks as an anagarika before she left the monastery. And I could totally see how that happened. It's really, really hard. So it really took me a few months to really kind of adjust to that, and we've had a few kind of day-long retreat days here, and we've been also trying to just kind of figure out our program and schedule between the two of us here, and figure out how we want to practice together and separately and stuff like that. And it's also been very busy here with striving for the Buddhist Society of South Australia and getting kutis up and all sorts of things. And I was listening to a talk today about Ajahn Brahm, and he was saying, when you're really pushing and wanting things in the physical world, so getting the kutis done, getting the Buddhist Society going, it leads to a desirous and critical mind. And I can definitely see that in the way that things have been in the last 6 months here with so much going on. But slowly it's winding down, and I've taken a few trips off to Santee Forest Monastery in New South Wales, and really benefited from the time in the forest where there's where it's really quiet, and I've got my little spot there, and I just kind of disappear into the cliffs and the rocks and the forest, and it kind of wraps around me, and I have no responsibilities, and it's definitely a lot easier to be contented and easily satisfied in those situations. So hopefully things will quieten down here. So early in May I went over to Santee for my second visit this year. I went for another trip to Santee earlier in the year as well. I might talk about that first. So I went for my first visit to Santee to go visit Ayya Naroda, who's Ayya Santachari's Acharuni, and also was here when I made that initial decision to take robes last year, and spent some time there that time, and also got to meet the wonderful Venerable Virapanya, who was originally a Mahayana nun from Hong Kong and ordained in Malaysia for her Bhikkhuni ordination, and has been a Bhikkhuni for 2.5 years now, and came out to Australia for an Ajahn Brahm retreat and decided that she'd switch to Theravadan robes in Dharmasara, and is now currently living at Santee Forest Monastery in New South Wales. And it was an absolute blessing to meet Venerable Vera. She's turned into a very good friend and very good teacher, and she's her training really shows through, and she's taught me a lot, and she's got just incredible strength and compassion and kindness. I left her today, so I'm a bit sad. And so she then came back to Adelaide and spent some time here where we really got to know each other. And as the Buddha said to Ananda, good friends are the whole of the holy life, and it really rings true. It's been great to have her support and friendship in the last few months. It's made a big difference to me, and I think that's one of the things I found really hard in the beginning, was because it was just me and Ayya Santachari, and sure we're friends, but it's a different relationship, her being the teacher, and this also being her place and stuff like that. So and it was something that one of the other nuns in Perth said to me, Venerable Archula. She said, it's much easier being in a larger monastery, because if one person kind of gets on your nerves, or you're having a bad day with them, then you're not just stuck with them, you've got other people to support you. And I can definitely see that as a benefit of being somewhere big like Dhammasara. Anyway, so I'm really grateful to have Venerable Vera as a friend and mentor on the path, and that's been an amazing thing. And then we've both been bouncing back and forth between Santee and Adelaide since, and she came over for my birthday a few weeks ago, which was really lovely, and for Vesak. And before that, I was at Santee and had the good fortune to meet Aita Taloka, the amazing mother/grandmother of many Bhikkhunis. She's done so much for Bhikkhuni ordination in America and Australia, and she is a preceptor or acharuni for many, many nuns here, and quite an incredible woman. So I was at Santee to be her attendant and cook. She has a bit of a specialist diet because of some health conditions that she has, and it was really, really great to meet someone, a nun who was well practiced and so steady, and she's been a nun for something like 30 years. She's one of the few Mahateris around, and just her depth of knowledge and practice, really you could just feel it in the monastery, and so that was a great blessing. And also a few days later, after I came back to Adelaide, had the amazing good fortune to meet a Sri Lankan monk named Bhante Nyanaloka, who really spoke very, very deeply to my practice and stuff like that as well. So it really gave me lots to work on, and was really beneficial. And he's a quite an incredible monk. He's walked Tudong all around Sri Lanka, and also spent lots of time up in the Himalayas, and we met him pretty much by chance at the Sri Lankan temple. Some of our supporters said, you have to come up and meet this monk, and he proceeded to give this talk for 4 hours, which was trying to cram in about 2 weeks worth of stuff he wanted to tell us and that. So I'm definitely still processing that, and that was nearly a month ago. And then today I just got back from Santee again after spending 2 weeks over there. A bit of forest time, and also for a retreat with a Thai monk named Longpo Jamian. It was a very different kind of retreat. It was a 6-day retreat, but there was pretty much no scheduled meditation practice in there. He just taught and taught and taught and taught, teaching and start at 8 in the morning and go through till 9:30 at night. And we break for an hour or two for lunch and for afternoon tea and stuff like that. But essentially it was just him answering questions and teaching Dharma, and really just pushing just that awareness, the other kind of bear awareness, really. The awareness and the mind that knows, and the mind that just is constantly alert and watching what's going on and examining the process. So that was useful too. He's a very unique monk. Not sure I'd do another retreat with him, because it was it was quite an interesting format, but I think I got a lot of benefit out of it. With the amount of information though that went into my ears over the 6 days, it's going to take me several months for that to really sink in. And I find this with every retreat I go on. All that the retreat is doing with the talks is just planting those seeds, and then with the practice and time and sunlight and water and dana and whatever else, then it starts to sprout and ripen. So we'll see how it all comes together. Some of the things he spoke personally to me about were quite similar to what Bhante Nyanaloka said, and so that kind of gives me confidence in the direction I'm heading in my practice, and I feel a lot more settled in my practice now than I did 3-4 months ago and stuff like that. So, which is good, because in a month's time we're heading into Rains Retreat, and I won't make any videos for those 3 months, but I'll try and make another one just before Rains and another one afterwards if I feel like talking afterwards. Even today, it was a major shock to come back to Adelaide and jump in the car and be driving after having my mind just turned inwards and sense restraint on, you know, on full bore for like nearly 2 weeks, and I'm driving down the road just, I'm like, ooh, gotta focus the mind outwards for a bit. So interesting anyway. So that is how I am spending my time. Definitely delighting in solitude these days, and feels a bit weird to be back in the suburbs again, but we'll see how it goes, and who knows, I'll try and get a couple more videos in before I'm a seminary. How about that? Who knows when that's going to happen. So may you have every good blessing, may the angels protect you, and may you be happy, well and peaceful. Suki Hotu.